Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. This is Ange. I'm Starlight Coach. I'm an astrologer and wellness coach, and I also do tarot readings. And I tune into energetic frequencies every month to give people updates. Today is going to be a bit of a personal update because I was making a lot of videos online, and then I suddenly got really sick and I suddenly had to pull my energy back. And I felt like it was important to discuss this subject a little bit with everybody. Good morning, Michael. So what happened in the last month has been quite intense. I felt like the energies were really pulling me forward. And I think that's for the collective too. And then suddenly there was this like bombardment and this wave of energy that required us to rest and to take our energy back somehow. So that kind of took me by surprise because I started my business. I started giving out promotions and material and looking for work outside of the online community. And then suddenly, boom, I got sick. I was sleeping 12 hours. I had 2 colds, 2 flus in the last month and a half. My body, my immune system, just everything just shut down and was shutting down. So I really had to take a lot of time for self-care. And unfortunately, I was still trying to put out some material because there's this big karmic patterns and karmic cycle theme that's coming up. And I think it's important to go over it. So part of the karmic cycle, what I'm getting collectively is has to do with the masculine side. So each of us have feminine and masculine within. And the masculines collectively have these karmic patterns that are coming up. A lot of them, not everyone, but a lot of them do. And I have been tuning in to my own beloved counterparts' energy. So some of that energy was filtering into my experience as well. And so that's part of why I had to pull my energy back. It's one reason. So I don't want to go into blame and judgment, but I think it's good to have this awareness and understanding of how these quantum entanglements can happen. So when you have a twin flame or a soulmate counterpart and they're experiencing high levels of struggle, of challenge, of karmic, like tower cards in the tarot card is where the foundation is just completely breaking so it can be rebuilt anew. And that whole phoenix energy and that resurrection energy coming back that I was talking about last month. So again, we're coming back to that theme where things are kind of crumbling down. And I really felt into that with my own twin flame dynamic. Part of that was because, I'm a person who's an online speaker publicly. And part of that was because I wasn't supposed to be giving him tips anymore. Apparently, a lot of our twins might follow us online, whether we're in separation or in contact or not. And just in case, I wasn't supposed to give him all the easy way out because he has to learn his lessons. And I only learned this like now, not like a month ago, when everything collapsed for me with my health. So that's what I'm talking about, karmic entanglements. That was one reason why all these things shifted and then totally caught me off guard because my path was going fine, right? So I'm getting back onto that more energetic path slowly, but it is going back that direction. So you might be feeling something like that too. especially if you're in separation with a twin partner, you might be feeling that there is this sort of cross-contamination in your experience. Not to such a greater extent, but it can happen. So this is why I wanted to talk about those karmic patterns and what they actually can be. So that's just the energy overall, a little bit of my personal situation and story of how this patterning played out for me with this phoenix kind of resurrection, crumbling down, rebirthing something new. But what can be a karmic pattern? I think this is really important to talk about. So if you're a divine masculine or a divine feminine, doesn't really matter. A karmic partner isn't only a love relationship. It could be family. It can be your job. It can be like an addiction or addictive behavior that you have that's karmic in nature. That recycles itself. It could be a ton of things. It's not just, hey, I have this karmic partner that I'm addicted to because we're in a relationship. No, it could be your job that you keep going back to that is actually toxic. So you kind of have to look at things from all angles when we're talking about karmic patterns and cycles. There's so many of them, so it's not just one thing. And I do apologize if I'm a little bit stuffy because I'm just getting over my cold now. And I'm drinking myself some tea. So I wanted to do a reading. So that being said about the karmic stuff, I wanted to go over the masculine and the feminine energies for twin flames or soulmates. And for each of us individually, however it will resonate for you, in terms of karmic patterns and health. For some reason, I'm getting the sense health because these karmic cycles have been so destructive that they are affecting people's ability to function and to heal. I know for myself, the situations I've encountered, like, let's go back to my story. Because I think it's relevant and it'll help people understand. So when you're talking about quantum entanglements, why situations are happening to people, why was there such a delay in my progress and, such an impact on my health, like getting all these colds, being like totally out to lunch. Why did my energy suddenly get super drained? One of the reasons was because of that counterpart reflection and some of the cross-contamination that can happen with twins. The second thing was, as well, a quantum kind of level situation. It had to do with ancestral patterning, genetic DNA, stuff that you basically inherit from your parents. So you can inherit, and not only your parents, I'm talking like going way back like 10,000 years. So stuff that's lodged in my DNA from 10,000 years ago, not necessarily health related or related to a health condition, but had to do with, vows and contracts that were done long time ago. So, some of these things I really don't have control over, and sometimes they come up a little bit more prominently in my experience because I do a lot of inner work. Like I am quite advanced at it, so I'm going into deeper levels and deeper I'm healing at a very high level of DNA to clear the generational problems in my ancestry that I've inherited in this human body. Just like all of us have this, like we all hold this, but as we clear layers of work, they get heavier. So, it's not necessarily karma per se, but it is stuff that needs to get, cleared. So, that's another quantum level entanglement of why this situation happened. So you can see how it's multi-layered, first of all. And second of all, how I'm not saying, you know, it's someone else's fault, but it's not really totally like a law of attraction thing. It's not like I attracted this to happen, but it is necessary for me to release. The third thing I wanted to make a point about this situation and my own situation and journey over the last month with this Phoenix rising energy and resurrection energy is that there is something I thought about in my own experience and how people can reflect about situations and or when they hear about situations that other people are entangled in or encountering in their life. The reason why I don't like talking about all these deep levels of healing, which is very Scorpion-esque, might I say, because we are entering into Scorpio season, so that might be why I'm talking so deep. But when we're dealing with these very private and personal levels of healing that we're doing, like our ancestral patterning, our DNA, our generational, our twin flame, this, that, and the other thing, and how they're all entangled all at the same time. And it's quite private, right? It's not something that you want to go online and talk about, because what I noticed is that if you talk about it, some people might say that you're projecting and you're not taking responsibility for it, or they might try to say that, you know, or perceive the situation that it in some way it makes them irresponsible for causing harm to you as well. So it's almost like allowing, if I say, well, this is a generational thing that I need to heal, and it's, you know, an ancestral thing and a twin flame thing, it almost like excuses them from harmful behavior, as though, well, she needed to deal with it. I needed to do this harmful thing. See, I'm innocent. I didn't do anything wrong. Okay. This is why I don't talk about these private things. And this is why I don't like expressing too much of my journey in these deep, deep levels of healing, as should any of you, because some people can take that as an excuse for harmful behavior, right? If they were involved in playing that role as the perpetrator to enforce some sort of harm to you, it will be like, well, see, it's not my fault, right? So, warning, right? Let's put a disclaimer at the back of that message, and why I, you know, really wanted to bring this up was that karma has no deadline. So these people who think, oh, well, see, it's not my fault, or blah, 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 I don't have to take responsibility for what I've done because, you know, she's got generational stuff that she's dealing with, or, you know, or that he's dealing with, or he's got a twin flame thing, and so I don't have to take responsibility. No, that's not how the universe works, right? One of the universal laws is the law of cause and effect. And this is actually a really important law to know at this time, because it has to do with this karmic cycling that's coming up for a lot of people to be healed. And this karma patterning and cycling that needs to come up to be healed is understanding that every action has a consequence, right? Even if that person needed to learn a lesson, even if that person is healing generational patterns or their twin flame or some other sort of situation that is private, that doesn't excuse you to do something harmful. There are consequences. And that's the universal law of cause and effect. And I think that's a really important thing to bring up for this cycle, because I've been tuning into a lot of masculine readings, and a lot of readers are saying the masculine is dealing with karma right now. The law of cause and effect. That is what it's about. It's about every situation that you did or every harm that you did will eventually come back for you to heal, right? Another really important thing that I was meandering about in my days that came up for me was the alcoholic 12-step thing, which is a good example about this situation. So in one of the 12 steps, I don't know which one it is, when you, let's say, have a karmic pattern of addiction and you need to heal, and there's a 12-step process that you're going through, and one of them is asking people for forgiveness, right? You're supposed to go out and seek people's forgiveness. Oh my gosh, something came up in my experience about that. It is a really unhealthy pattern that we have generationally adopted and inherited. And it's in our systems, like the alcoholic's 12-step process, to ask people for forgiveness. And I made a video about this forgiveness subject, I think like a year ago. And what I said in that video was that if you want forgiveness, okay, you have to give something. It's an action, forgiveness, right? So you don't go around asking people to forgive you. You need to do something to repair the consequences of your thing you're seeking forgiveness for. And therefore, you forgive yourself. And then the person ultimately forgives you by universal principles, by simple quantum energy. So you are in charge of your own forgiveness. You forgive yourself, and then you take a responsible action to repair what you've done, right? That's what you need to do when you seek forgiveness, not go around asking people. So that 12-step process is really off. It's a really, and I think, you know what, I'm going to read, just a sec. In the Sophia Code, I'm going to just bring up one quick sentence in the Sophia Code in the Isis initiation. One of the problems with asking people for forgiveness is a really nasty belief system that a lot of us have inherited that is very unhealthy. So, and it basically says, when you let me try to find this really quickly. I don't remember where it is. Maybe I'll find it and I'll post about it. Anyway, it basically says we need to forgive ourselves for giving away our personal power to others to make decisions for us. So one of the things we really have to forgive ourselves for is not letting other people make decisions for ourselves or that take away our personal sovereign power. And in terms of this alcoholic forgiveness thing is like, well, if you're seeking forgiveness from other people, you're giving away your personal sovereign power to forgive yourself, and then take the actions to alleviate that problem and that karma and solve that situation, to undo that harm. It's such a misleading social construct that a lot of us have inherited from our families, our teachers, society, that is not healthy. And it's in the alcoholic thing. It's a 12-step process, man. It's like people are being taught to give away their power to other people, rather than take responsibility for what they're seeking forgiveness for. It's so, oh God. Anyways, I had to bring that up in this message because it came up in my, like, I just thought about it because I was doing the Isis thing, and anyway, just craziness. So I wanted to do a reading today about the masculine and feminine, a quick reading to see where they're at with their karmic patterns and cycles and their health. I'm not a doctor. I'm not someone who's going to heal you or give you a medical diagnosis, but I'm just going to do it in terms of what the cards say for your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies, and just see what the cards are, you know, guiding us to do for both our masculine and feminine side. So I'm going to pick 4 cards for the masculine and the feminine and see where things are going. Hold on, just give me a sec to drink. I'm still a little sniffly, but I got some sage. So I'm gonna clear the deck, clear the space, clear it myself, and bless the cards. Holy Father, Holy Mother Sophia. Asking for 4 cards for the divine masculine and the divine feminine for the collective and anyone who's tuning into the video. 4 cards for the feminine, please. Mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. Mental, physical, emotional. So the mental for the feminine is the Knight of Swords. So that's good. That means swift messages, communication, fast communication, ideas, sharing ideas is the feminine in the mental body. So that's what she's doing, thinking about. Let's do physical, emotional, spiritual. Physical, emotional, spiritual. Holy Father, Holy Mother, Holy Spirit. Okay. Physical, 4 of Cups. So, yeah, I think this has to do with some of that integration energy that the feminine has been going through in her physical body. Like she feels like there's a cup missing. She's not seeing the cup. She's feeling sick. She's feeling tired. Maybe she has a cold. Maybe there's some emotional distress that's causing physical symptoms. So she's not seeing the whole picture, which is why I wanted to come online and talk about that, because from my own experience, I think it'll help other people see why we had this kind of delay, or maybe in your life situation, it could kind of relate on some level. So let's do emotional and spiritual. Emotional and spiritual. 7 of Pentacles emotionally, so that's very good. She's got a sunflower there, so that's very harvesty. She's picking. This card has a very interesting definition in the tarot deck here. She's picking the pentacles that are ready and ripe on the tree. So it's like she's picking the right fruits at the right time. And so that's like her harvest, right? She has this growing, fruitful, fertile land, and she's picking the fruits when they're ripe. So she knows the timing of when to express her emotions, because this is her emotional body. And she knows the timing of holding back, right? So just like in my story, in my situation, I was like, why am I so tired? Oh, it's because I'm not supposed to express right now. I need to take my energy back, right? So people can learn their karmic patterns, right? So this is kind of like that timing energy. It has to do with harvest and abundance as well. So emotionally, she's feeling fulfilled in that area. And let's see spiritually. Spiritually. Let's get a card for spiritually. Okay, this card here. 8 of Swords. Oh, this is interesting. Let me think about that. 8 of Swords meaning she can't see something spiritually. Her eyes are blinded to the truth, because swords have to do with truth. She feels maybe isolated or alone. So spiritually, it seems like it can go in three ways. I think it depends on your particular situation. The first situation could be that there's spiritual warfare going on. And I don't want to scare anyone, but that could be what's going on. There could be a really, like, a lot of darkness happening around her. Maybe physical, psychic attacks, things happening that she doesn't know about. That kind of thing, because there's a lot of fog, a lot of confusion energy. The second way this could be is that she is not connected to her spirituality enough. She's not connecting to her spiritual side. So this could be a good reminder to do more meditation, pull tarot cards, tune into your astrology. Prayer is good as well. Do something that connects you back into your spirit to give you more clarity. And the last is best message: the calm before the storm, or the storm before the calm, or something, whatever that means. It has to do with there's this storm, this tornado. I made a video about that too, because there was another divine sister who was making this chaos tornado situation happening, coming up with the collective, with this karmic patterns. So there's this chaos before the calm, right? Right now, the spiritual side of our situations could have a lot of chaos, tornado, confusion. In spirit world, it's just saying that it is the chaos before things are peaceful, and to keep center in being in the middle of the tornado where it's calm, right? This is what I'm getting the sense on the third way. So that has three meaning for three different situations for the divine feminine. Let's get to the divine masculine, see what's going on with them. Holy Father, Holy Mother, Sophia, God, Holy Spirit, asking for divine masculines. Mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. Mental, physical. Okay, mental. Ooh, King of Swords. That's very good. So the divine feminine and the masculine in the mental body are marrying each other quite a bit. Both masculine energies of thoughts. The masculine seems, mentally, he seems to know what to say, when to say it in his life situation, even though there might be this like foggy storm kind of energy around. And he is being guided. There's like these three little butterflies around him. And there's a hawk, which has to do with like, foreshadowing, foretelling. So he is being guided in his life, in his mental body. So that's very good. What's next? Mental, physical. That's right. Oh, wow. 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups. So the physical world, he feels very fulfilled in his physical life. Or maybe he has plans to achieve this like castle, to achieve this like, this has to do with love and relationships. No, so there is this like bond with his feminine, or with a partner that he is seeking fulfillment for, or it could just be just personal happiness and fulfillment, happiness overall, joy in what he's doing physically. So physically, he seems to be quite well. There's little ducks here, the little baby swans, I mean. So it could have to do with fulfillment through children, thinking about children, having grandchildren, having children around, really happy about that. Or to have children in the future. That is, having a family dynamic. If it's not with children, it has to do with, creating a family unit of some sort. So that you know, that is a very positive card. So I'm happy to see that for the masculines after this whole kind of tower energy that's been going on generally. So let's see what else is going on. Emotionally, 9 of Pentacles. Look at that. Beautiful. 9 of Pentacles has to do with independence, has to do with fulfillment physically, you know, having abundance, having a job, having a career, having income, feeling independent, strutting their stuff a little bit. So it has to do with emotions. He has a very deep sense of his emotions being fulfilled right now. So even if there's been some struggle, he feels this emotional fulfillment returning. That's what I'm getting the sense, and a sense of independence and self-awareness that has returned. So his sense of awareness about his situation and his life has now been, in spite of how things might have been seen on the outside, he has been very fulfilled emotionally and received a lot of self-awareness from this situation, which is making him more independent. So this has to do with maybe getting rid of addictions or karmic patterns with codependency. So this is a good card for the masculine, a very good sign for the masculine. So spiritually, what is going on in the spiritual world for the masculine? 8 of Cups. This is really interesting. The spirit world seems to be very, the worst kind of energies for the masculine and the feminine. This is masculine and feminine. And it's both 8, which is interesting because 8 is a sign of heaven to earth. It's the infinity code of masculine and feminine balance, and also just complete fulfillment. So the masculines and feminine in the spirit world are mirroring each other exactly. The feminine is more in the mental body. The masculine's more in the emotional body. And the masculine seems to be still searching, still seeking. There's a cup that's missing, and it's an illusion because the moon has to do with illusions. So he is releasing something in his spirit that has caused him to constantly seek out the feminine. Maybe like she's right in front of him and he doesn't realize it. I don't know, something like that, you know. So that's really interesting. It's a very interesting card. But it is a good sign because, you know, the 8 of Cups, you know, still, it's not like, you know, 3 of Cups or 4 of Cups. It's quite, you know, it's still 8 of Cups. He's just seeking one more cup. So maybe he's trying to receive some higher spiritual awareness because this has to do with the spirit. So maybe he's still seeking his spirit, still seeking to connect to his spiritual side more deeply, maybe to develop his intuition, develop his skills, his psychic senses, resistances that he had to his psychic and intuitive instincts. He's still seeing that. So that's really, really interesting. So I'm going to pick 2 more cards. Where did I put it? Okay. 2 more cards for the feminine overall and the masculine overall. 2 more cards for the feminine and the masculine, please. So the feminine got 2 of Cups, which is beautiful. This is the Union card, the Twin Flame card, soulmates. We have Venus. Venus is in Scorpio right now. So this is a really good sign of intimacy, sexual intimacy, bonding, chemistry, balance, harmony. yin and yang. So we have like the dolphins, the silver and the gold energy. This is a really good card for the feminine. So that's the energy overall. And for the masculine, we have masculine overall. Four of Swords. So a time of rest and contemplation is required, masculines. That's the overall energy. So it has to do, the three swords are back here and there's one lying down. It has to do to quiet your mind and to go into meditation or to connect with your spirit, which is what you got here, is your overall theme, because that will give you more clarity and alignment to what you have going on, all the positive cards that you have going on, you know. You have the 10 of Cups, you've got all these other really positive energies. So you need to do this resting and contemplation time so that you can align to all these really positive energies. So connect to your spirit, and then all these other things will manifest like with ease. Let's do some other goddess oracles. I love the goddess oracles. Actually, no, let's do maybe the romance angels. It's a little bit of a romance reading, right? So romance angels. This card fell out. Let's see what it is. Reconciliation fell out. So that might mean some people are in the process to reconcile with a counterpart, with a partner, with their twin, soulmate, or with a new love that is a perfect energetic match to them. Clear, clear, clear. All right, asking the romance angels for cards of clarity for the masculine and the feminine. The wedding card also came up. So let's pick one for the feminine and one for the masculine, please, Holy Father. Clarity for the masculine and the feminine. Feminine and masculine, please. Divine feminine, divine masculine. All right. The divine feminine's being called to flirt. So extend your lighthearted energy to others. So this is really important. It's just to be lighthearted, to share, to talk, communicate. Mercury's going to go retrograde October 31st in Scorpio. So that's a lot of energies where really deep things are going to come to the surface. Hidden matters are going to come to the surface. So if there's a time to talk and communicate, it's now before the end of the month. So it's a good lighthearted energy that we're still in, because it is a shadow phase. It's not full-blown retrograde. So divine feminines, you're being guided to flirt and be flirtatious. Dress up, put some makeup on. I don't know. Even be flirtatious, like with friends. Just be like joyful and giggly or whatever, you know. Just be really in a playful state. Pardon me. I'm still getting over a cold, so oh my God. Okay. This is going to be the end of my reading soon because I'm losing my voice now. So the last card is for the masculine. All right. Healing family issues. Yeah. Masculines, I've really sensed, I've tuned into this energy a lot for the masculine. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. So it might be your parents, it might be siblings, it might be karmic patterns and situations that you've encountered yourself in. But as you heal your family issues, then other things in your life will unfold. A lot of the times, these family issues can also have to do with childhood wounds. So in order to really dig deep into your childhood wounds, because a lot of masculines don't have friends who want to talk about their childhood wounds, which I don't blame them, it'd be a good time to have a counselor to talk to, or a coach of some sort, that you can talk about all these like triggers in your life and how they relate to your childhood. You need to get them out. If you don't get them out, you can't really connect with your twin. In order to be an energetic match to your twin, you really need to do those childhood wounds. I know I always try to go back into those as much as possible. And also forgive your parents. You know, they're learning too. They're not perfect. They have their own issues. They have their own childhood wounds. So forgive your parents for things that they've done, and start to take responsibility for how maybe you've done things to others that had to do with childhood wounds that you had yourself. That, you know, maybe you were codependent or had an addictive behavior because you never got attention and you never got love as a child, or you never got to express your emotions, and so you try to bottle that up for too long. So you need to really work on those kind of deeper psychological things, which is a perfect time. We're in Scorpio season. Scorpio has to do with your personal, deep, private matters, your deeper psychology, why you're doing things, how you can create more chemistry and intimacy in your relationships. So as you do this, and as you work on yourself, this is a perfect time to flow into that. In this season, you'll be able to collapse that old foundation of the tower and rebuild anew with forgiveness, right? So I hope that message helps anyone on their path. Let me know if anyone wants another card. What practice do I use to clear? Sorry, the comments are, I don't know why they're like that, Gabrielle. I've got sage right here. I knock the cards, and I also send invocations to my guides, the connection, the Holy Spirit, Holy Father, Holy Mother, Sophia, God, that kind of thing. I might do one more card with Mother Mary, just because it feels like we need a little bit of nurturing right now. We need a little bit of clear. We need a little bit of that guidance to how to overcome our karmic patterns, heal family issues, childhood wounds, that kind of thing. So I'm going to ask Mother Mary for a final message. Holy Father. Oh, perfect. Mother Mary says, quiet. I go into peaceful silence and I listen. And she's reading a book here. It's like the little baby Jesus. So yeah, maybe I'm getting the guidance that someone would really benefit from reading a book right now about psychology, about clearing childhood wounds. If you can't talk to someone, maybe read a really good self-help book. So quiet, read a book. Meditate, which is what the masculine also got here somewhere. Meditate and contemplate on things that might help some people. And the divine feminine is just, she had the Four of Cups in her physical body. Divine feminine's being guided to listen to other people's advice. Not so much quiet meditation, divine feminine, because it's in her physical body. So she's being guided to hear, listen, clairaudience, listen to your guides, listen to God, whatever you believe in, listen to your family and friends when you resonate with the message or when you hear it 3 or 4 times. Really tune in and listen to your surroundings, synchronicities, that kind of thing. That's going to be very helpful for the Divine Feminine. So yes, thank you, Mother Mary. Thank you, anyone who tuned in. I hope this message helps you on your path. And if you resonate with it, that's great. I'm glad to be of service. The last little quick thing is, as I am getting back into my own health, I do have a special promotion running for anyone who's interested to dig deep in their psychology at this Scorpio season, to get into their astrology. If you're really looking to get over karmic patterns, one of the best ways is using the tool of astrology and your birth chart. This is what I provide for people. I have a promotion running for $111 right now, Canadian, until the end of the month. In that promotion, you will get a personalized report about your astrology related to a specific topic or theme that you want clarity about, and to dig deep into your Chiron, which is the wounded healer asteroid. It has to do with how to overcome karma and what your healing powers are and abilities are to overcome in your life. When you know your Chiron placement, you become very much more empowered in your life journey, especially related to health and wellness. And Chiron's going to be in the sign of Aries until the end of this year. So if there's a time to go into some deeper healing, the time is now while you have that Chiron energy. So that's why I have that promotion running as well. If you just like a basic reading though, like a tarot oracle reading like this, personalized to your particular life circumstance or situation, I also have that running for $33 ongoing, Canadian, and you can just send it to my PayPal account at PayPal.me, / I believe, Starlight Coach. This card just came out, Death card. So yeah, death has to do with Scorpio energy, transformation, the cycle of death and rebirth, that Phoenix cycle to transform your life, that Scorpio season that we're entering next month, digging deep into your psychology. So anyone wants a reading, typically the cards tend to show us a really good guidance portal to where we want to go. I tune into the highest consciousness and frequency possible with my readings so that they help you tune into your own higher self. This is my focus. This is my specialty. My light language activations that I do include, if interested in your reading or your astrology consultation, also is specific around connecting you back to your own higher self. This is what I do. This is my specialty of light language. So yeah, I hope that helps anyone. Thank you for tuning into my station. Right now, I have this only on my friends list. I'm not sure if I want to share it out publicly because I find a lot of people right now are going through karmic struggles and challenges, and sometimes the universe and God doesn't want me to intervene unless they're meant to receive this message. And it's time for them because they've learned their karmic lessons to some extent, or they're ready to overcome them. I'm very good at clearing karmic patterns. Astrology is one of the best tools to do that. I couldn't say more myself how empowering it's been to use astrology in my own journey as well, to become the outside observer of your circumstance. So thank you again for tuning into my station. Feel free to like or share any of my future updates and videos. And as always, take care and much love.